And we're back live here, day two of the Sam Costa Mathlete Tournament. We're in round six, I believe. Round five, round six. I don't know anymore.
We're 13. This is game 12 and 13.
Yeah. So we're here. We've got 8 bowlers left in the winners bracket, and we've got 8 bowlers left in the losers bracket, and we're going to be here all day until we whittle this double elimination tournament down to the winner. Brian, what do you see here today as bowlers are bowling now on the fresh again, and we've got only 16 people left?
Yeah, I mean, some good matchups, right? Right in front of us, we have the regular and brand matchup. That's going to be a great matchup. Really, you're left with the shot makers from day one. Jacob, Kyle, Costa, Larry, Anthony, Mooney, Murphy. These guys are making shots from day one, fell their scores. So you're down to the people who not only saw it well on the fresh, but were able to get it going well on some of the breakdowns. So it's going to be very interesting. I mean, another interesting match is JJ who beat Carlos yesterday after being down 40 pins after game one. So what a comeback for him. Hopefully it's not that much of a letdown for him. Probably the biggest win of his young little season career. Beating somebody like Carlos is big enough, but to come back from a 40-pin deficit and strike out the last 4 or 5 shots, force Carlos to strike. A great feeling for the kid, I'm sure. And it's going to be an interesting match. He's probably got the second or third toughest guy in the field, 2-time champion Kyle Paxton. So it's going to be very interesting. See if the kid can hang. Hopefully he can. Unfortunately, he doesn't make that spare, but hopefully the kid can hang and make it a match. It'd be great to see.
The one thing that I noticed looking at the winners bracket and the losers bracket and the bowlers that were in, and I didn't really think we noticed this yesterday, is the 8 bowlers who are left in the winners bracket seem to not really be many football players. A lot of them are very down and in. The biggest hook out of any of them is probably Andrew Cologne.
Yeah. And Brian Murphy kind of wheels it a little bit.
He doesn't get very much on the ball,
very
though.
much.
I mean, Steve Ortiz is pretty straight. Colton obviously is very straight. John Huff is pretty straight. Exactly.
Yeah,
but then you look at the losers bracket, and Jacob Regular, obviously two-hander hooks the ball a lot. Larry Brand wheels the lane a lot. Robert Graves is a straighter player. Chris Felker obviously gets all over the ball, as was Kyle Paxton.
But Felker was playing the lanes fairly straight. He was keeping everything in front of him. So the only real wheelers, again, I'm not going to put Larry early in that category, although he is playing the lanes a little bit more open than I think he wants to or needs to or would like to. Add a little bit more in his comfort zone if he can keep it a little bit more in front of him. But I don't think the lanes call for it for his role, which is why he's opened it up a little and has had his success.
I think maybe one of the reasons is that the football players tend to want to go left to right a bit, and there is that hang outside of about 8 or 7 or so on this pattern. So the bowlers who play straight, keep it in front of them, are less likely to hit that out of bounds. So they seem to be benefiting from that.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, the only exceptions here really are Jacob and maybe to some extent Andrew O'Brien. But Andrew kind of tricks his hand a little bit and can get the ball, spot a little harder than the ball depending on what he does with his hand and what ball he's got in his hand. So Andrew's maybe a little bit of an exception to a rule as far as the people going left to right. The only big left to righter here is Jacob, and I think one of 2 two-handers that made it through with Hyatt.
So we do have, out of the 16 bowlers, there's 14 righties and 2 lefties. Obviously, J.J. Salmon is one of them, who we talked about already. The other is Jeremy Mooney, who is still alive in the winners bracket, bowling against Andrew Cologne. What do you put his chances, and to a lesser extent J.J.'s chances, because he's in the losers bracket right now, being the only lefty in the field?
Not JJ at all, but he's probably got the toughest match in the building for him. Bowling Kyle, who's coming off a great win against Nate, and again, 2-time champion. So if somebody has that confidence in a tournament like this, it's very hard to get through them, especially in the later stages. So as much as I'd love to see JJ get a little bit further in advance, my prediction is that his run ends here. Mooney, on the other hand, I'll tell you,
he's got a tough matchup right now.
Yeah, he's probably one of the tougher matchups, and they're really good friends on top of that, so that adds a little bit to the match's general rules. But I like Moody's chances if he can stay focused. I like his chances to get through and maybe shove Andrews into the losers bracket. But then again, Andrews struck a lot yesterday, especially when he counted. So you just never know what's going to happen.
This is, of course, just like yesterday, a 2 games total pin match. It's not a best 2 out of 3 or anything like that. So every pin really counts here. Even if it's at the end of a match and you're losing by 40, you still have to focus and strike because you don't want to let it get too far away from you.
JJ's match against Carlos yesterday is a prime example of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another interesting match on that coin pair is Shea, the only one left in the field, against John Huff. Very similar styles and placement of where they're playing the lane. They're both keeping it very much in front of them. Not really, 17, 18, 16 the arrows, not really getting right of 9, 10 down lane. So that'll be an interesting match. They both great yesterday. Huff pulled well yesterday, so it's going to be interesting to see who makes it through, stays in the winner's bracket out of that match. So
let's go over there and actually take a look at those winner's bracket matches. So the early scores looks like John Huff is the D bowler, so he's got spare, and now he's got a 10 pin to shoot at, and his opponent Shea has strike. Looks like covers that 10 pin. Really hope when that purple hammer for spares. I wonder if that's one of those 2016. Is there
right.
purple hammers?
He's not going to be able to use much longer, right? At all.
So Mooney and Cologne. Mooney's got double spare, and Cologne has strike and then spare. So still close early.
Mooney's one of those guys. He strikes and he strikes out. It's very rare. Like we were talking about this yesterday, when a good bowler gets locked in and just kind of zones in. Jeremy's one of those people who just fires it up 5 and finds a way to carry everything under the sun with his ball speed and his delivery.
And on the other pair, it looks like Brian Murphy just doubled. He is the D bowler, so he's got strike, open, double. The 2 bowlers that are now, Rakowski is the D and Steve Ortiz is the C. And that match still close early, but Rakowski has a chance with his double. So maybe put a little space between him and Steve.
Yeah, I would look to see Rakowski get through this match. There's no such thing as an easy match. Obviously, when you get down to the 16s to the 8s, this is Steve's big bowler. This is definitely not an easy match for John. But we were discussing yesterday just how good John is when he's able to straighten up and keep things in front of him. He's one of the better players around, period, when that happens. So I would look for him to score well, like he did yesterday on the prep, and try to put some distance, as you said, between himself and Steve.
Ooh, almost a 7-10.
Yeah, it's going to come down to carry for him for sure.
And now Cologne is shooting at the 369-10. And let's cover it now. Mooney's got a washout on the other lane.
Yeah, I saw Andrew stick twice now. Nice cover there by Andrew.
So that right now is a 12-pin match. Neither bowler really able to get anything going, and neither one of them threw a good shot that last frame. So that might come down to who figures out the pair first.
Looks like it's a footing issue for Andrew, watching him mess with his knee and mess with his shoes and all of that.
Which actually is a little surprising. It does tend to get sticky here when the weather is humid, but we've got that cold front that came through, and it's maybe 50, 55 degrees out, so I would expect that it might just be because nobody's cold on it, but I think once the bowlers get about a half hour under that the approaches probably are going to be okay. So John now has spare, strike. So he's got 58 and a third. Shea, though, can put up a double here. She can strike. So that comes up light. She's 210.
Swing lane's very great. We watched her do this yesterday. She really can't get the ball right of 10. That one looked like it was about 8, 9. And with her softer hands, red-wise, and her speed, there's just no way she can get the ball really right at 10, 11. And she was playing 12 yesterday when she shot that 275. And every ball was in the pocket except one that she leaped right and she paid for it. Kind of the same thing here.
Not going to cover this. So she's going to have a 68 in the fourth, and her opponent John Huff has got probably it's going to be about a 20-pin lead at these doubles. He can look to extend that to 30.
Like your psychic. That was a no doubt.
Great pitch. Now we'll see if Moody, if that last washout was just just a bad shot, because he had double and spare before that. So we'll figure out if Mooney really just lost his reaction. Maybe he just, it's early in the morning. We had the time change yesterday.
Very bullish.
Yeah, that was a real bad shot.
So that might have been a washout from last frame. Maybe he got that wide. So this one he kind of cut a little short and went directly from
Stay on the left lane, comes up high, maybe over adjusting the same way for that 210 she just left, and goes to the face, and she's got a 3-6 to shoot at.
Yeah, she's got very little room to play with without she's playing. So she's really got to make some quality shots in order to strike.
Oh, Ortiz sticks, but he almost strikes anyway. So yeah, there's definitely some kind of footing issue going on down there.
We had him on bottom. Second time.
Well, I'll tell you, Paxton and Bridget is not pulling well with Pax back-to-back splits. So it's less than a 10th match there with Kyle and Bridget.
Yeah, Paxton left that 2-8-10. He's obviously more than likely not going to make that. So now here's John Huff on the right lane, 24.
Looks like Huff's a little. Crossing about 22 with the arrow. That one was left and held. Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, he got a good break there.
Yeah.
That could easily have been a big four.
I think all four of them were on the deck, actually. By the time that was done. It was definitely left down lane compared to the one on 23. But
And there's a bad break there. He's missing that 7-10 in what's a close match. So that's going to be some things that he's giving away right there to Costa, which is never something you want to do.
You can't get this way to John, especially on a pattern where John
Now movie comes up light again on that left lane, so maybe he is struggling a little bit trying to find the
It
shot.
looked like the ball changed true, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was using something red, I think.
Yeah, I thought I saw something shinier going down the lane on that shot than on the right. Yeah, definitely a ball change. Not sure what it is.
There we go. That's my boy.
Here's Andrew Colon. He was probably the most consistent bowler yesterday. It seemed he was shooting 230, 240 almost every game he played.
Yeah. I think his closest match was 750. So he certainly bowled well and got a good draw all at the same time.
I'm gonna go on a limb. He's my early pick to win this tournament today. I think he's got a really good look. He's good at, even though he gets a lot on the ball, he's good at keeping the ball in front of him. He's very versatile, smart bowler. So he's going to be my pick to win this, I think.
I said yesterday when Rack called McMahon and said, I think I'm just going to turn around and go home. I said, you can't do that because now you know, once you say that you're going to come and you're going to win the tournament. So Rack was my pick yesterday, and I'm going to stick with that today. Not because he's my teammate, but because it's...
But because he's a teammate.
Yeah, right. But
and he's good.
Yeah, and he's good, yeah. But I think my two picks, honestly, would be Andrew and Rack. I think they are not taking anything away from how well Felker bowled yesterday and two-time champion Kyle and all that stuff. I just think when it comes down to some consistency, 6, 7, 10 aside, when it comes down to some consistency, I think those two are probably the best in the field. I'm going to go with Rack just because you went with it.
Okay, so we both picked bowlers in the winner's bracket. Who do you think out of the 8 players in the loser's bracket is the most likely to give it a run?
Felker.
Felker?
Yeah, Felker and Bregler. I think, again, I think Paxton gets through this match, but I think at some point, Felker or Bregler are going to make it into either bowling each other or getting into the final. I think Jacobs was coming off a good catch. He's got some confidence. He's a good player to begin with. And Felker obviously lights out yesterday. I would expect him to maybe not go quite as well today because I don't think you can repeat that performance quite honestly, but I wouldn't expect him to shoot anything under 220, 230, at least in the early going when games right.
I'm going to go out on a limb and make maybe a little bit of a surprise pick. I'm going to take Robert Graves to make a run out of there.
He bowled great.
Did bowl great yesterday, and I've seen him bowl really well on some really sketchy lane conditions. He's a grinder. He doesn't do a whole lot to the ball. If the approaches are bad, I don't think they bother him too much. If the lanes gets really weird, I don't think it bothers him too much. I think he's more likely out of anyone to be able to just go out and shoot 230, 240, no matter what the conditions are like. Whereas all the other bowlers, I think, may be susceptible to the approaches being off or being carried down or hitting the out of bounds. Plus, he's probably the straightest player in the losers bracket, and we see that the straighter players are doing well in the winners bracket. So I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to like his chances.
So it's interesting that neither one of us picked Larry, who, by the way, could win this tournament at any given time.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You know? So it's interesting that we're talking about the eight there, but neither one of us mentioned Larry. So, well, you got to watch out for him.
The thing about Larry, and obviously his chances are very good, but I believe he was hurting yesterday. By the end of the day, he was really hurting. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it through that many games coming out of the losers bracket. That's a lot of games. He's going to have to bowl another 12 games or so today.
Yeah, but as you say that, he's got open spare five there.
It's true.
He's built a bit of a lead against Franklin, who kind of needs him to. He's got to keep putting the pressure.
If Larry Brand is healthy and is healthy 10 games from now, sure, absolutely. His chances are as good as anyone in the building. But I don't know physically. I don't know what he's like right now. I mean, he's good now, but
Yeah, right.
5
So
games
far,
from now,
so
who
good.
knows?
And Mooney makes a little ball change on 24 and comes up fighting game. So Jeremy's struggling maybe with a little speed. Looks like if he just kind of bumps the speed down a little bit, Jeremy can do quite easily. Continue to do it. And maybe let the ball raise the lane a little bit more.
I know he told me once that he never bowled good in this building. When we bowled the state tournament, we ended up winning it. And Bobby Jr. tried to eat something, and with Bobby Sr., he bowled 7 and change. Jeremy only shot like 630. He hates this building.
Well, Jeremy can say that all he wants, but I've never seen him not bowl good in a building. So
I think he told me this is the one building he's never bowled 300 down here.
in all the buildings in South Florida, open or closed.
I think that's what he told me.
Oh,
So his ball speed is low enough where he's going to get it back.
Yeah. And it's a little surface, so he's getting his skinny kind of roll gets it through the front part, but it's still getting because of the surface. He's still able to get that reaction in the back. And Kyle has opened 4 of the last 5 frames and can max for 158. And JJ is in the driver's seat in that match. If he just marks, he's in the driver's seat. And I want to flip back to Mooney real quick. It looks like he lowered his speed just a bit, and he went flush. Kept the second ball change, whatever ball he's throwing, kept that in his hand, and went flush.
Let's see, so there's JJ now. He has a chance to get back into this. If he strikes here, he's only down by 3. No, it'll be more than that. That's right. Yeah, but he crossed over, so now he's got 125 in the 8th. Right, I looked up, I saw Kyle 128.
Yeah, but
that's the
9th.
9th. Yeah,
so JJ takes a commanding lead, and JJ can shoot
go up
180, and Kyle's going to shoot 158, and then Kyle had a little foot issue I saw on 27, so
good shot from Cologne coming off that open the last frame, so he's got a chance to punch out for 2-team, and his opponent is looking at 230 though.
Still close though, 14 seconds. So Larry left kind of a 2-8-10 that turned into an 8-10 in the last frame, and then it came high and 4-6, but kicked the 4 out. So puts regular back in driver's seat with a strike, or at least regular strike puts the game closer to even. That was left. Oh, Brian McMahon, our tournament director, Brian McMahon. How are you, buddy? We're getting to all of that stuff. Yeah, we're talking about how many straight bowlers were, straight players were here. So that we had a couple lefties, that we had a woman. We got everything.
So the one bowler we haven't really talked about is Alan Colton. Colton is the straightest of the straight, and he bowled on tour not too long. Well, maybe not. I wouldn't say not too long ago. Too long ago.
35 years
Very
ago,
too
yeah.
long ago. Okay. Adam Colton's a former touring pro. He's probably the only one in the building, as far as I can see right now, that's actually bowled any tournament on the pro tour.
Yep.
How much is that experience going to factor in now? Because he's got a pretty big lead in his match. He's got 94 in the fifth and a triple, and his opponent Brian Murphy is going to barely shoot 2-0, even if he punts it out.
Yeah, so Adam's one of those, we call him unicorns. I mean, Adam might be the only person in the building that gets less on the ball than I do, but his accuracy is second to nobody. He's a phenomenal spare shooter because he's able to keep everything in front of him and doesn't hook at anything. Everything's very straight. And yeah, I think that comes from his core experience and his ability to read the lanes and understand what's going on. I think that does give him an advantage over somebody like Brian, who's a great player, but Brian doesn't bowl very well. So, Murphy, I don't think I've seen him in a year or two since we've had this
The only time I ever see him is at this tournament.
Right. So,
it's not like he lives far away. He lives down here.
Right. He just doesn't bowl much. But, kudos to Brian because he seems to capture in the tournament every time we have it. And again, not bowling. So
that's a great shot by Colon now. So he's still looking at 2-10. Mooney now, if he spares and then strikes out in the 10th, he's got 2-11. So Colon up right now, but only by a little bit. But he still needs the strikes in the 10th to make that happen.
Kyle goes first strike in the 10th to finish out with 148. And he will be down a minimum of 20. Minimum of a maximum of 17 or something. Excuse me. JJ strikes here for 165. So JJ with a 17-point lead, 17-pin lead going into game 2. A little bit of a surprise there. I won't lie, a little bit of a surprise.
Just that little extra on the fresh. I don't know how Kyle bowled on the fresh yesterday. Maybe he tried a little bit and just got a good draw, but I don't expect him to shoot 140 again on the same pair.
Definitely not.
What's going to make or break it is, can JJ do what he did yesterday and come off a bad game and shoot 230?
Right.
If he can do that, Kyle might not be able to
and
catch him.
JJ's going to need to shoot 230. I think I would expect Kyle to come up and best that game by 80 to 100 pins, as long as he can keep his feet. It seemed like he was having a little bit of an issue, but he did make a ball stand on the fill, so it looks like he might have gone to that gold reception and curl, so we'll see. And ran to a 10th, and Bregler's, from what was a commanding lead, Larry is going to flip to the other side, and Bregler with a strike or two here. Going to make the commanding lead on Larry going into game 2.
That's a 5-bagger now for Bregler. He's looking at 238. And Larry needs to make the 2-8-10 just to get over, into the 2 teams. Yes,
Larry
Colton throws a 5-bagger.
He gets 2. Bregler punches out for 238, so it's going to be a very big flip in that game late. Another good shot by Andrews.
Yeah, he's looking really good right now.
Yeah.
Even though he scores only 2-10, it was just that 6-3 in the middle of that. Other than that, it's a pretty solid game. He looks like he's figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, 6-3 around a 7-bagger.
Murphy can't throw the second one in the 10th, so he's going to have a 190 game if he makes this 248.
And Adam already into 20, 30.
A reminder,
Adam into 30 because of the 240.
A reminder, these 4 matches on lanes 23 through 26 are winners bracket, so the losers aren't eliminated from the tournament. They're just going to get sent into the losers bracket to replace the people who lose these 4 matches in the losers bracket.
Right, just as a quick recap, JJ with a 17-point lead over Kyle Paxton. Jacobs with a spare here, 27-point lead over Larry Brand.
Matt Williams in the chat says that he was Kyle's first round opponent, and Kyle got to 16 for 3. So, 660, yeah.
Nothing, awful, but nothing to stand out. A little bit of a break there.
Yeah, definitely. Murphy trying to cover this 248, big wheel at it.
Yeah, a little off spot too, so yeah. Bregler does go back there, so Bregler taking a 27-pin lead on Larry. JJ again a 17-pin lead on Paxton. Felker goes 9.5. And Hyatt is taking a 20-pin lead on Felker in Hyatt striking in his last shot.
And Mooney in his second hole attempt doesn't even hit the head pin. He's the 139. So if he spares this, he's going to have 201, and Andrew Colon, if he strikes on the fill ball here, is going to have 217. And he does that.
The other bracket down there is Robert Graves and Pete Quinlan. Quinlan throws the first one in the 10th, throws the next one, he's in the 212 area, and Graves marks out for 226. So Graves is going to have a lead. And like you said, sneaky pick there, but not really. He bowled tremendous yesterday. It was not surprising at all that he got a lead in this first game.
Nah, there's not one lane condition I can think of that I don't like his chances of putting up a good game on. He seems to score on everything.
And we talked about it yesterday. The game is very simple, and that just helps him on all conditions. Good shot there,
And a good result, so she can strike out for 2-0. And if John Huff doesn't strike on the first ball, he's going to shoot 2-0, and they might even tie after game one.
Yeah. Something we almost saw yesterday. A couple of matches were 1 and 2 pin matches, but we did not have a tie yet.
What's the roll-off rule in this channel, do you know?
That's a great question. I don't.
We're going to have to find out, because we might have one.
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it, I think.
Here's Ortiz in the 10th. He's on a 4-bagger. A strike here would be really helpful when he gets it.
Yeah.
Because Stavrakowski left the 10th on his first ball in the 10th. So Ortiz can punch out for 236. And if Stavrakowski makes this and strikes, he's only got 216.
We've already got an early open from JJ in his second game of his match. Kyle promptly went up and struck. So.
Is that ball going to hook through Shea? It is.
Yeah, looks like she's a little softer on the speed. Gave it a little bit of a chance to react, but not quite enough. That's a fair call.
You have about a 10-pin lead there. So as these guys are finishing up, let's head over and check out the losers bracket matches a bit. As we take the cameras over, you can see the big crowd we have today. Covering these 8 lanes. So here's JJ. He opened the first frame, but he slaps the 7 out.
Yeah, that open was a baby split. It was a 2-7. So
And Kyle Paxton did strike on his first ball in the 10th. It looks like he made the ball change for that goal that sets him score that he was throwing yesterday for a long time.
yep, he threw that in the field ball of game 1, packed it, came up and packed it. First shot in game 2, and there's another one here. So, like I said, and Jeff said, no chance Kyle's shooting 140 again. In fact, I would almost guarantee it's in the 230 plus range. So it's just a matter of whether JJ can hang it there in game 2.
Now, Durano Hyatt just shot 240, and he's got a 20-pin lead. So here's his first frame in game 2, and he 9-pins. As we said yesterday, the official spare of Striker's family.
Yeah. And he only has that 20-pin lead because Chris goes 9-dash, and that game was a tight game until Chris flagged the spare in the last ball. So
And Chris has a tough spare to shoot at now in the 245.
those games in the winner's bracket finished up, and we've got Colton with a 52-pin lead on his opponent, Ryan Murphy, and we've got a 17-pin lead for Stephen Ortiz against John Costa. Well, that's, wow. Thought he missed it. Won't lie.
You can see Durano uses a glove, but he uses the glove on his left hand, not on his right hand. He has a two-hander. He uses that glove with the unique kind of backswing where he holds the ball up. He uses that glove to make sure he can retain a grip on the ball.
And the second individual, Jasanoff yesterday, him today, shooting spares one-handed with all 3 fingers. So very interesting to see them just kind of oscillate their spares as opposed to keeping their hands in it.
Well, I believe Durano puts his thumb in the ball.
Or does he put it in for,
On his first ball. So he's not one of those that has to use a different bowling ball for that. Robert Graves, and he strikes, so a good start for him now in game 2. So here's Paxton looking to throw a triple. If he does get this one, I think it's safe to say he's off to the races. And, yeah, he's feeling it now. see.
Mooney, Kelowna both opened with Kelowna opened with a 2.48.10 and got 2. Mooney washed out and made it again. So a little bit of some errant shots there from the boys in the opening part of that match for them.
JJ crosses over, can't get the 8 out, so he's in a bit of trouble right now.
Yeah, and we expected this. I mean, we did not expect Kyle to shoot 140, and certainly wasn't going to expect that to happen back-to-back games.
They feel a lot harder.
Scott Anderson says they feel a lot harder today.
A lot less push in the middle today. They feel a lot more 4-to-1 today than they did yesterday.
Well, we've been hearing that they're hooking a little bit more, and they're just very different from yesterday.
You Jacob's official ball rep today?
We're already into ball 3.
We're already into ball 3. Nice. Right.
Balls 1 and 2 are no goes off the rim.
Is ball 3 that Axiom Pro that he was throwing his strike a lot yesterday? No, is that ball 6 or ball 5?
IQ Tornado Pro.
IQ Tornado Pro. Really?
So they are quite a bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he's still in that Helios and not in something a little bit tamer.
Another 9-pin for Hyatt Dan.
It's 2 in a row that were really, really good.
Yeah. Belker starting out didn't make that 2-4-5 he left on the strike, so
Yeah, Belker's in trouble.
yeah. Even though the match is tied and regular rolls and 3-pin forward, even though the match is virtually tied, they both maxed early at 279. It looks like Dorana's in the pocket. I mean,
Right.
He's pretty solid right now.
And 279 favors Toronto. He's got the lead going into it.
Quinlan, he gets it right, and it's just not going to come back from there.
So it looks like there's the same push right with a little less push in the middle. So it looks like they're playing a little bit harder today, which is what we were hoping we were going to see yesterday. But it turned out they were maybe a little bit softer than we had initially thought they were going to be.
Look at Paxton's second shot on his right lane in game 2. Good shot.
Yeah,
Really
really
leave the
good
10-pin. Yeah, he knew it. He wanted that one. You can see it. He really wanted that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's already made up the deficit and then some in free frames with JJ's open and inability to double early on. So,
A great shot by Quinlan there, making that 210
Yeah.
to keep that
he
match
needs
close
it.
early.
He needs it because he's down.
JJ doesn't hit the pocket, leaves a bucket, and this match is starting to get away from him. It looks like.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of what happens here, he's pulled a hell of a tournament. He's going to cash. He beat a couple good people along the way, so kudos to him.
Robert Graves up, and he strikes
Yeah.
as usual.
Let's show everybody my shocked face that he struck. I mean, the guy's been striking for 2 days straight now. So. JJ does not make the bucket, so this match is JJ's in a heap of trouble now. Maybe a little bit of nerves.
He's already down by 40 this game.
Yeah.
Still not out of hand. He's only
No.
down by 20 or so in the match, but he's got to get something going now.
For sure. Maybe a little bit of nerves. I mean, he's a young kid that just went adult. And,
Yeah.
he knows who he's bowling. It's not rocket science, and he's certainly beat a few along the way, but maybe the nerves are catching up to him a little bit.
And I was about to say, here's Hyatt trying not to leave a 9-pin. It looks like he actually
He
tried to
didn't.
do that. He looks like he got it much too far to the right, maybe making up for those 9-pins, trying to make an adjustment, and he paid for it.
Yeah.
Leaving the watch out.
I wonder if he moved his feet. I wasn't quite paying attention, but Larry trying to put a little pressure on Jake. Larry down in his match. That match really flipped hard toward the end, where Larry had a couple opens toward the end, and Jacob struck out. So it's definitely Larry definitely has some work to do to catch up to it.
Hyatt doesn't even get the wood on that washout. So he's got 44 in the third, and Felton now will double up, has a chance to get some of those pins back.
Yeah,
Down.
that's a big mistake by Hyatt not at least getting 2 there.
As Quinlan goes through the face. They call it the old Templeton Peck. Templeton Peck?
I do,
The
yes.
18, the face.
I love the A-team rep.
Man, like Kyle Paxton right now is thinking he loves it when a plan comes together. Move over here and get Graves. You see he's playing pretty straight. Strikes again. He's not covering a lot of boards at all.
No, he doesn't need to.
Yeah. He's playing maybe 16 or 17 or so, but he's only getting an ounce, maybe 12, if that.
If that. And this Cologne Mooney match is getting interesting. Cologne open 9 spare and then left a 6-pin. So Andrew maybe losing the shot a little bit, or not making such good shows.
We are live on Jeff Parashad's YouTube channel. You can search for my name on YouTube. We have like a YouTube app, or if you're on YouTube on the web. It's also under Swish 710 Bowling. You'll find it that way.
I think I'm still the only one that knows how to spell your name.
I don't think even I know how to spell it anymore.
Felker went up and now Turkey. So Felker now not only with a lead in this game, but a lead in this match.
And Hyatt makes a ball change, takes out a Nova, and strikes.
Yeah, it was good. Good shot there. It's tough when you go bam 9, bam 9. You know, you don't really want to get out of that ball, but I think you kind of have to at that point, knowing that this is a 2-game match and you need to strike, especially going up against a guy that pretty much blew away the field in day 1.
So as Larry Bramley's a 9-pin, Jacob Regular comes up and he's trying to throw a triple here. And he's a 10, but Messenger's without. That's the power of the two-hander right there.
Yeah, that turns into now a commanding lead in the match for Regular.
Graves looking for the 4-bagger. Did he get it?
Love tap. He did.
He does get it. So Quinlan now is in the danger zone.
Yeah. I think this match is all but over if he doesn't strike here.
Paxton light in the pocket, he's a 4-pin, but right now he just needs to fill frames if KJ doesn't get anything going.
Left.
Quinlan didn't like that one. Just tripped a 3 out, so it makes that spare a little easier. See if Felker can take advantage of that. He likes it. And he gets it.
Felker's kind of a little half 10 on that shot. JJ struck, so
Doesn't get it. Oh.
yeah.
Ah,
But
he did. He was in the way. It looked like he loved it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he liked it, but he kind of half 10'd it. JJ staying alive, barely, but does strike and stays alive. And quite frankly, I think JJ needs to throw 3 or 4 more. It's not going to be enough for JJ to fill frames here. If Kyle fills frames, he's a winner unless JJ can throw 3 or 4 together and force Kyle to step up and throw another double. And this Murphy match getting very interesting now as Colton has gone open, strike, open, and then has left a 6-10, and Murphy has doubled. So that match, even though Colton had a 52-pin lead, that lead is shrinking frame by frame. That was the left.
Yeah, way left. He's asking for it to stay right. I think he might have been better off asking
Yeah.
for a hook more.
I think if it hooked another board, I think he might have carried that.
Regular now, as you get this 10 out, you get this one out too. So that's strike spare 4-bagger for Regular. What was the score of their first match?
I think Regular's got a 15 or so pin lead, if I'm not mistaken.
So
I'll go double check that.
another couple of strikes and he gets the
Yeah,
Larry.
Larry's going to need them all. I think, 'cause I don't know if Jacob's going to miss. He may not carry, but he's not going to miss.
Larry does get that strike, so Larry with a 1-0 in the 5th, but Regular, he's looking at punching out for 280, so yeah, he's only made that one mistake. There's Kyle Paxton, oh no, Paxton comes up light, 248.10. That's the last thing he wanted to do. So now, all of a sudden, JJ has some life. If he can get up a double here.
Makeable for Paxton, though. with the way he hooks the ball. This is somebody who hooks the ball quite a bit.
Do you try to make it, or do you just get the 3? I guess, or maybe does it depend on what JJ does?
Yeah, I think JJ doubles there, you try to make it. I think that he doesn't. Now that he hasn't doubled, then make sure you cover the 3, and if you make it, great.
Looks like he just tried to get the
Exactly what
3.
he did. Yeah, I just tried to get the 3 and then move on.
So Paxton now 144 in the 7th. He's going to have about a 30-pin lead if JJ can make this. Braves with the 710 gets them both to fall. Wow, what a break.
Yeah, it's a great break there.
But that match is pretty much over.
So Breckler has a 28-pin lead on Larry, so
So it's not looking good for Larry right now.
I mean,
He needs to punch out and just pray.
honestly, Larry misses here, Jacob strikes, and this match is over.
I mean, even if Larry punches out, he shoots 259. He would
not
still
enough.
need Jacob to shoot less than 238
Yeah,
or
I
6
don't
or
think that's
something.
enough.
And
Well,
he
I'll
gets
tell you that ball hit like a little pancake, but they all went down, so I guess it doesn't matter. And we see Dorano do the same exact thing on 30 that he did on 29, just not getting it far enough to the right, coming up high and leaving the 6 pin.
So Breitler now, if he strikes here, he gets into the 240s. Felker flat 10s.
Felker's kind of in control of this game, but he's going to need a little bit more to get through to the match. Blown through the face again. That match is getting very interesting. And that's a no-doubter by Jacob there. I hate to say it, folks. I think this match is over here. I just don't see how.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Don't see how Larry can beat Jacob's 280.
How many pins handicap are you getting, Larry?
And this 10th frame, right?
How are you
Right,
feeling?
right. It's like the French Open. If you tie, you just keep going until you know.
By the way, Larry, how are you feeling? I know you were in some pain yesterday.
Good.
Doing good?
It's tight just only because it's cold.
Get on camera so we can see you. Hi.
I'm feeling good. A little tight still. Just for a quick heads up, last weekend had a witch off the regional, stuck, and felt the hamstring tighten up. So, still going through it.
Certainly doesn't seem to be affecting you too much.
Drugs do wonders.
Yeah,
Drugs do wonders.
drugs are good. Don't do
Don't
drugs, kids.
Ibuprofen, guys.
Only the legal stuff.
Ibuprofen and a lot of sugar.
A good shot by Paxton there to come back, so he still can just mark out to be in the 2-0s. And even if JJ
can't strike.
strikes,
Yeah, I mean,
JJ will only shoot 190, so it's not over yet. JJ does need to make this, though. He does. So if JJ strikes out, shoots 191, and Paxton
he
goes
will
spare
force Kyle's
strikes
double.
there,
Yeah, he will force Kyle's double at that point.
it's not over just yet.
But it looks like JJ is really struggling to find the difference between a little bit of a pull and a little bit of an airmail to the left. So interesting. We're talking about that Cologne match. Cologne went through the face again and made the spare. Mooney split and did not make the spare, so it tightened that match up. And then Andy promptly comes back and trips for it and strikes. So match again getting interesting down there. That is left off Larry's hand. And
4 through the
that would
face.
be 4 through the face. Yeah.
And that's going to do
So
it for
that
Larry
match
Brand.
is over, folks.
So
And,
Larry Brand's tournament comes to an end.
My pick moves on. My losers bracket pick moves on.
So here's Felker. Felker down 20 going into this game. Oh, buries the 8.
Absolutely bones an 8 there.
That's a big 8 pin now because Felker is only 120 in the 6th, so he's still only on a 2-0 pace.
Yep.
And Dorano with 83 in the 5th. He hasn't really put anything together this game.
Yeah, I mean,
But
Felker's thrown 5 or 6 good shots this game. Dorano's thrown 1. So reality is if Dorano doesn't start throwing better shots here, Felker's going to find a way to knock that 8 pin down and knock a few others down. And I think Felker's going to come out on top unless Dorano can figure it out.
shot here from Hyatt. Very big shot.
Yeah, look how far left he is. I don't think he got that far left yesterday at all.
Do you think he needs to be that far left, or is he just kind of maybe panicking a little bit?
Well, these guys said that these lanes are a lot drier on the press today than they were yesterday. Than they were yesterday, and he does have about a 7 or 8 foot drift to the right, so it's a little deceptive how far left he actually is. But I don't remember him getting that deep yesterday. I remember him playing a little further right.
Good shot by JJ, but clacks the 7-pin.
Yeah, he needed that one, folks. I mean, at least he put it there. You know, you got to give it to him. I'm sure he knew he needed it. His dad was standing behind us. They had a little bit of a conversation.
Now, Paxton strikes here. It's pretty much
it's over. Yeah.
Got to put Paxton into the routine if he can just mark it at 10. But if Paxton doesn't strike here, it's still not over.
Yeah, it's still not over. Especially if he opens.
Almost like a 410.
Yeah, that's another striker G leave there. Light 410. And last time Paxton shot this, it was close to missing it. So, you know, this is not a given spare here for Kyle. Unfortunately, JJ does not make his, so I think now it's irrelevant.
Yeah, it's pretty much over now. Here's Hyatt on lane 30. And he'll need to put up a bubble here, try to get some of these pins back.
Yeah. His last shot was really good. That one looks good too, so. That's great.
It was good, but
yeah, it was really good. The last 2 shots for Toronto were really good.
It wasn't really bowled that bad of a game. He had 9 pin to start the game, and now the 10 pin here.
9 pin and changed the ball, so you know he's pressing a little bit when he has to do that.
Almost needs a 7-10, and
I can't believe that messenger. Yeah, it almost stood up in front of it. I can't believe it.
James wants to know what's going on with the winners side. So let's take a look at the winners bracket.
They're
a little further behind. They're only in the 6th frame here, so we want to get to the end of the losers matches. But let's take a look what's going on. So we've got John Huff out with a spare 4-bagger against Shea, but Shea's got double, 2 spares.
So you know this match is still tight, and the movie match. Malone was in a little trouble early, but has come back to double. So that match is tightened up a little bit too. The interesting match is there. Costa's down in his match and Murphy's down in his match. And up until that shot right there for Murphy had a little bit of a lead going in.
Colton has not bowled at all this game.
Colton has not bowled well. Colton's got something fairly unmakeable, and Murphy has something slightly makeable, so there's still a chance there. And going down to where Costa was down, but he's got a nice spare 4-bagger. So Costa's now taking a little bit of a lead.
Here's Cologne. Cologne started off the game open, spare, but he's now on a double.
And one of those pairs was, I believe, the 3, 4, 6, 7.
It looks like he's in a different ball now than he was earlier in game 1.
He absolutely labeled that one.
I think Murphy can make this. Just going to get the 4-pin.
Smart play, though. Got to make sure you cover 1 on the strike. 1 means 2. And then match is
It's up by 20 this game.
Yeah. But I think he's down 40 or 50 overall. So that double would have been
Now, Looney strikes, so their match, or this game is virtually tied.
and it's a slight lead in the game. In the match. I hate to say, I want to say there was only some on the strike board. I haven't seen no Costa over the ball. I think that second frame was pretty much labeled Costa on all of these shots.
Pretty good shot.
He's also in a different ball than he was early in the game. He's got found that zone now. As we were talking earlier, we're constantly very tough to keep in that zone. Looks like everybody's in there. Also puts the ball as well. So all the breaks down the hair and how it's so much different from yesterday according to some of the bowlers we were talking about.
strike by Hyatt there with that Nova, so he can punch out now for 2-0, where Shelter can double, which is 20. Ortiz needs to make this, and he does. But not looking good for him.
He's in trouble, yeah. He's in trouble. Rackro's from New Orleans, and I think there's going to be lights out for Steve to find a way to throw the next few. A little bit of a snafu, 6 frames to follow it up with the
The 250 on it.
Yeah, and that's very much over.
250 this game, 260.
Yeah, 260 is good. That's a big shot. Small lead half of it. Put the pressure right back on top. Alright, folks, let's go bow out. Write the names down. We'll see you back on the next round.
Got it. Mooney trying to strike here. Can he get the 7 to fall? No, he can't. That's a bad break for Mooney, and that's going to send him down even further in this match. They were tied in this game. But Malone now with the 4-bagger looking to take control. Murphy covers his 9-10. Now Ortiz, pretty much a must-strike situation. He needs every single strike here and just hope for Costa making mistakes. However unlikely that may be. Does get it. He does get that strike. Yeah. Huff now on a 6-bagger, looking to make it 7, and he does, and he's locked in, folks. Still looking at shooting 290 this game. Here's Rakowski, pretty much wrapped this match up with this one, and he gets it. So now Rakowski looking at a 280 game. He's got strikes for him, 7-bagger now. And John Huff now with the 8-bagger. Shea Weaver's now in a world of trouble. He needs to strike and pray. He does strike, but it's a tough ask right now for John Huff to stop striking. here. Pretty much wraps this one up. They'll put him in the 220s. And gets it. That's going to be a good win for Cologne. And he's going to move on and send Mooney to the losers bracket. Bolton with the strike. In the 10th frame on his first shot. Strike by Murphy. John Huff looking to finish off his 290 game. And he's a 910. So he will not go to 290, but still a fantastic game. Covers this, he can still take 269. Finishing out his game, he's going to go into the losers bracket, and John Arkotsky is going to move on in the winners bracket in this tournament. Pretty assertive 280. He throws the final one in the 10th. John Huffler on the triple hammer with his final ball. He's throwing practice out with it. Like the urethane checks a little early. Costa can shoot 280. And he does. So great game for Rakowski. Moving on in the winner's bracket. And that's going to do it for this round, folks. So we'll be back in probably about 10 or so minutes with round 2, maybe less than that, depending on if they give them a little bit of a break. But stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we will be back after this short break for the next round.